Hello, welcome to Trojan Sports Now. I'm Jahmal Kennedy.
And I'm Kyle Shook. Stick around as we bring you the latest news and scores from Troy Athletics. Leading off our review segment, the Troy baseball team. The Trojans used a 4-run ninth to take a 5-3 lead over Georgia State, and the game would end with that same score, 5-3. There it is, folks. You see it, but how did the Trojans get there after not recording a single hit between the first and ninth innings? Well, to get things started, Steven Whitaker led off the ninth with a single. Then, 2 batters later, Brandon Lockridge scorched a double down the left field line to score Whitaker. That made it 3-2. 2 batters were hit to load the bases for John Tatum, who made his first career start Sunday. Tatum looked like a wily veteran, though, as he singled to tie the game, and then a fielder's choice from Matt Hathcock with a single from Matt Sanders gave the Trojans their final 2 runs of the game. Senior closer Mark Skinner got a rest on Sunday as sophomore Corey Gill brought it home for the Trojans, recording his 3rd save on the season.
And the baseball team looked to carry that momentum into a Tuesday night matchup against in-state foe UAB. Sarah Drake has the highlights and the final score from Riddle Pace Field.
The Trojan baseball team welcomed in the UAB Blazers to Riddle Pace Field, but dropped the matchup 6-1 on Tuesday night. Coach Smart talked about the disappointing loss.
Disappointing night for us. We didn't perform very well offensively. Got behind early and wasn't able to score, so not a very good day for the Troy team here tonight against UAB. They played better than we did, and hopefully we'll bounce back tomorrow and play better.
Coach Smart said one bright spot during the game was Zach Lightsey making his season debut after having surgery and missing last year.
I was really proud of Zach. It's been over a year since he's pitched. He had surgery. He's been through a long rehab process. It's always great to get one of those guys back out there, and I thought he was comfortable, confident, relaxed. He got 3 quick outs, and he looked good doing it. So I'm really proud for him. That was a good bright spot in the night. You know, you take some positives out of it, and that was certainly one of our positives tonight.
The Trojans had 6 hits in the game, but Brandon Lockridge scored the only run when he hit a home run deep into left field over the doubles alley sign. Other than that, runs were hard to come by.
Well, you know, we had a chance early in the game. We had 1st and 3rd, nobody out in the 2nd inning, and we failed to execute to score the run. And then Brandon hit the solo homer to give us a lead, and then we did not do much at all after that. The hits we got didn't really do anything, and so unfortunately we got behind, and then I thought our team was a little tight and pressed a little too much.
The Trojans will return home Friday to take on the Texas State Bobcats. Sarah Drake, Troy, Trojan Vision Sports.
Brandon Lockridge is seemingly turning into the hit king. All he does is rake, as he added 2 more hits to his season total Tuesday night. The 2 hits also gave him 18 multi-hit performances on the season. To put that into perspective, the Trojans had played 37 games up to that point.
And Wednesday night made 38 games on the season for Troy. But after a disappointing loss to one in-state foe on Tuesday, the Trojan baseball team came back with a vengeance against another in-state rival last night. Troy's offense exploded for 15 hits to push past Jacksonville State 10-5 Wednesday night at Chocoloco Park in Oxford. The 15 hits set a new season high. 6 came from Matt Sanders and Justin Friend. Max Newton made his first collegiate start for Troy and earned his first career win. Newton allowed 4 runs, 2 earned on 5 hits, while not walking anyone and striking out 4 in 5 innings of work. The Trojans will return home to Riddle Pace Field. Surprise, surprise, Brandon Lockridge recorded another multi-hit game. That puts him at 19 on the season out of 38 games. Also joining the multi-hit parade were Matt Sanders and Justin Friend with 3 hits each, Mason Rogers and Hunter Mercer, who also had 2 hits.
And the footballs were in the air once again over at Veterans Memorial Stadium as the spring game was held last Saturday, and the gray team took on the white team. Winners got steaks, losers got, well, hot dogs. Jalen Bivens has more from the vet.
It's that time of the year again, and no, I don't mean allergy season. I'm talking about Trojan football. There were a few players missing Saturday due to either injury or from playing so much that head coach Neil Brown didn't need to see them on the field.
Well, you know, we had a little bit of bad luck during the spring. We had a few guys, knock on wood, nothing really that's going to keep anybody out from the fall camp or fall practice. Most of the guys that missed today will be back, and they'll be full go when we start our summer program the day after Memorial Day. But some of them were held out just due to numbers, you know.
With seniors now leaving, this opens up spots on the roster for potential new starters.
We've got competition at certain spots, and some spots we got to continue to look and find. Hopefully we can add 2 or 3 to our roster, guys that can come in and hopefully contribute right away between now and we suit up on the blue turf.
Coach Brown went on to talk about how much he likes the offense that he has right now, but he still believes there's a few things that can be fixed.
I like what we have. I think this is by far going to be our most talented offensive team, especially at the skill positions. We need to get a little better on the offensive line. We don't have an Antonio Garcia up there, a guy that's going to be a 2nd or 3rd round pick like we had last year, but I think we're going to be better across the board.
But when it comes to the defense, he says they need a new pass rusher.
Defensively, we've really got to develop a pass rusher. That's probably going to be the key. You know, Mike linebacker and pass rusher. Everywhere else, I like where we're at, but we've got to improve and be able to rush the passer better than we are right now.
Jalen Bivens, Trojan Sports Now.
The white team was victorious on the afternoon, and that means, well, they got stakes. And those two teams will come together as one when the fall hits, as one Troy, looking to continue rebuilding the wall. The team opens with Boise State officially on Saturday, September 2nd, and the home opener at the Vet will be the following Saturday, September 9th, against Alabama State.
Now transitioning to softball, it was a happy Easter for the kids as they enjoyed an Easter egg hunt Saturday, but not before the Trojans slammed their way to a 12-2 victory over conference opponent Louisiana Monroe.
There was a 0% chance of rain on Saturday in Troy, but for some reason, at the Troy softball complex, it was raining dingers, and the Trojans hit 2 of them in grand style on their way to mercy ruling Louisiana Monroe in 5 innings.
We're really happy that we got a W. That's what we've been looking for a while.
Yeah, I was really proud of just overall the offense. I thought our quality at bats were off the charts, and I give my 2 assistants, Taylor Smart and Alex Hupp, a lot of credit. I think they, this morning, came up with a great game plan and really sold it to the hitters, and I think the hitters give them credit for buying in. But was really proud of Becca Hartley and Jordan Gray, both seniors, of, you know, taking the most of their opportunities. And again, we've had some really tight games, and, you know, I think the girls just finally unleashed it today.
It's not all about offense, though. In order to be able to beat a team by 10, you have to have good pitching to go along with it, and the Trojans had good pitching throughout the entire weekend series.
Couldn't be more proud of our pitching staff. I mean, again, I think, you know, we had a tough weekend against ULL and we got beat up a little bit, but for them to keep their confidence, and again, Claire to go 9 innings and then Rigney to go 7, that's, and when your pitchers can go the full game, that always helps. And then, you know, we didn't use Meg yesterday, so we were able to start her today, and that was key, and she did a great job and gave us some innings, and then Claire closed the door. So, I mean, we were complete. We had pitching, defense, and offense today, so I was proud of them.
To go along with her Grand Slam, senior Becca Hartley also had 2 other hits that rifled past ULM defense and talked about the mentality that she's taken on this season that's allowed her to be so successful.
Yeah, I think just not being afraid to fail is key in this sport, especially because you do fail so much. But just looking for a good pitch, a pitch that I can hit a long way, and that's what I've been getting. So,
to get further explanation on Saturday's win for the Trojans, check out this play by Katie Webb, recording the last out of the game.
Stat line for you, 7 different Trojans recorded a hit on Saturday. And Becca Hartley, after the game, was 1 home run shy of Hannah Day's 3rd place record in the program history for a single season. Well, Hartley now has what they call it, 15 Becca bombs on the season.
And the Trojan softball team faced the number 2 team in the nation Tuesday night at the Trojan softball complex. I have all the action. There was a kingfish in town on Tuesday at the Troy softball complex in the form of the number 1 team in the country in Florida State. The Noles took both games of the doubleheader from Troy, but head coach Beth Mullins was pleased with the performances of her pitchers.
Both of our pitchers threw complete games, and I thought we had a lot of really solid innings on the mound, and we had some solid innings on offense. We just, you know, couldn't put the 2 games together.
Rachel Rigney Brown went 7 strong in the first game, and in the second game, it was Claire Graves that went 7 innings, giving up only 2 runs. Coach Mullins commented specifically on Claire's performance.
Yeah, I thought she threw well. I mean, her velocity was up. I mean, she had a couple, you know, instances where she kind of lost command, but we've worked all year on her being a one-pitch warrior, and I think that's what makes her great. Is she'd have one bad batter, and then she's going to come back and dominate the next pitch. So
one of the things that the Trojans say in their post-inning huddles is fight. And that's something Mullins saw from her team even when facing 2 difficult pitchers.
I think, you know, we're facing a really good pitching staff on the opposing team, and, you know, weren't able to string some, but give them credit. I mean, they held our offense, and I thought Claire did a great job, and it was a really good game. I mean, who wouldn't want to see a 2-0 ball game against, you know, the top team in the country? And, we're going to have to take some of the great things we did today and bring them into this weekend against a really good App State team.
Though the Trojans dropped both games tonight, Coach Mullen said that she was very pleased with the fight her team displayed. And that fight comes as a result of the consistency that her team has shown the last 2 weeks.
I think the last couple weeks we've been pretty consistent. I mean, the results haven't gone our way every time, but I think we've, on the mound, we've really been solid with all 4 pitchers. And, our offense has had a lot better at-bats than we did in the middle of the year. So they're fighters. And I mean, we have had a lot of adversity this year, so, we're going to be great at dealing with adversity. And I think they did a good job today, and I have no doubt we're going to have more adversity that's going to hit us in the next 3 weeks, and we'll be fine.
The Trojans are no stranger to taking on highly ranked opponents. Troy also played the number 2 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide back in the 2007 and 2008 seasons.
The Troy track and field team is still on fire after a weekend at the South Alabama Invitational. In the women's discus, Karina Weiser-Cox finished in first with a 59.68-meter throw. And on the men's side, Connor Brookman broke his own personal record in the javelin throw with a 59.02-meter toss. Zach Douglas shined once again in the shot put, walking away as the winner after an 18.04-meter throw. And Titus Sizemore finished in first in the men's high jump. According to Director Mark Davis, the Trojans weren't large in numbers. That was by design.
This past weekend was good. We had some very good performances. We didn't take everybody. We took a smaller number of people, but we still took a big number of people, if that makes sense. We rested a lot of kids because we know we have a lot to go. We have Auburn this weekend, Penn Relays next weekend, and 2 weeks after that we have conference. So.
Up next, the Trojans will be off and running in the Auburn Relays come Friday, April 21st.
And the Troy women's tennis team wrapped up their regular season schedule in Mobile, defeated by South Alabama. The Trojans fell 4-0 on the Bruce David Lubel Memorial Tennis Courts. The Jags gained the early momentum as they swept the Trojans. And Player of the Week, Sine Otah, fell against Alexandra Stidler. Otah also finished the regular season with a 9-11 record. The Trojans will look to get back on track when they start their Sun Belt Conference Championship run, but we'll have more of that in the preview section.
The men's tennis team is closing in on finishing their season. The 12-10 Trojans had one more game before heading off to the Sun Belt Conference Championships. That last team was West Alabama. It was the last home game for 4 of our Trojans: Andre Baldo, Mustafa Belcoura, Pablo Moreno, and Hassan Daishami. Well, the Trojans shined in competition as they took down West Alabama on Monday 6-1. And on the final day for seniors, the Trojans took the doubles point and 5 of 6 singles matches to clinch the win. Pablo Moreno was the only senior to fall, but freshman Amir Bedwan finished with the team's best record at 21-9. The Trojans will now turn their head towards the Sun Belt Conference Championships. They will open against Coastal Carolina on Friday.
And the weekend was so jam-packed with Trojan sports last weekend that, well, we almost missed out on the men's golf team. The number 64 Troy golf team had a pretty solid day on the course Friday as they took down number 24 Georgia and number 35 North Florida at the University of Georgia Golf Course. The 2 victories come in a key time as the Trojans are gearing up for Sun Belt Conference Championship action. That begins on April 23rd and that goes through the 25th. But Jarrett Betcher picked up a dominating victory to capture the first point of the match, and Jake Tiffin won 3 straight holes at the end of his match.
Well, that's all the time we have still to come on Trojan Sports Now. We'll have a preview of the Trojan baseball team's home weekend series against Texas State, as well as the Trojan softball team's home weekend series against Appalachian State.
But first, I'll sit down with men's basketball. Well, I should say Sun Belt Conference men's basketball champion Juan Davis Jr. Stick around for more Trojan Sports Now coming your way.